Hello, everybody. This is Still Rose's podcast. This podcast was created for women by women to elevate women's voices. I have kind of an interesting topic here today. I hope everyone's doing well. Let me start with that first and foremost. But I have a kind of an interesting topic. So over the weekend, my husband I always come down and meditate in the morning. And now he sits in the room right next to me in the lounge chair in my office. And he, unwinds himself in the morning. Over the weekend, he was clicking through social media. And he settled on this video, and I actually stopped what I was doing to listen because it really piqued my interest. It's this woman, I can't remember her name. You've probably seen her. If you have social media, you have to have seen her at some point, but she's an older, very thin woman on social media. And she talks a lot about like natural, holistic ways to treat disease and whatnot. Now, a lot of what she says, I fact check because this is part of how I think and how I make my living. And so I fact check just to make sure like it makes sense. And there's always studies and research to back up what she's saying, which is why I'm going to reference this now. So she was talking about diet, and she said that the 3 meals a day structure was actually introduced in the early 1900s, probably a little bit sooner because I just did some research and I was looking at colonialization and all this stuff. 3 meals a day was introduced specifically, truly an American cultural thing. And it was structured really most recently around our workday, school day, because we live this very structured lifestyle. In her video clip, she talks about how it was recommended basically by the system, the powers that be here. And it's really not based on health for us, because if it was based on health for us, 3 meals a day wouldn't be recommended. If you go back and you think about, this is where she started talking about, our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. And these people did not have 3 meals a day because the food was not available to them. They ate when food was available, and they ate when they were hungry, but there was no structure. You must eat breakfast, you must eat lunch, you must eat dinner. That came purely out of us, society, deciding to do that. Now, before you say to me, Jenny, no, but the experts say, like, this is what we need. If you dig deeper into that, you are actually going to see some conflicting evidence, but you have to dig because the topical layer is going to reinforce 3 meals a day. It's very interesting the way that the search engines are set up. I'm not going to get all conspiracy theory on you all, but I will say I find it very interesting how difficult it was for me to find this information. Nevertheless, I'm going to take a step back for a moment before I go all the way down the path because I want to really ground you. So I've talked about intermittent fasting before. I've talked about how that was really the catalyst to help me lose weight in my 40s because I was really trying many different scenarios. I was trying different ways to lose weight. Nothing was working. And a friend of mine, mom friend of mine, recommended intermittent fasting, totally changed my life. I owe her big for that. Benefits of intermittent fasting. Obviously, weight loss is one I just mentioned, but it improves your metabolic health. Fasting can significantly lower blood sugar and insulin levels, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. This is beneficial for me. Diabetes runs in my family. It reduces inflammation. So there's chronic inflammation is a factor in many diseases. Studies suggest that fasting can lower overall levels of chronic inflammation in the body. This is accurate. Enhanced brain function. Fasting may support brain health by promoting the growth of new nerve cells, increasing cognitive function, and potentially offering protection against age-related neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. This next one is most important here. Cellular repair. Autophagy. During extended fasting periods beyond 24 hours, the body initiates a process called autophagy, essentially a cellular cleanup that removes damaged cells and can help regenerate new healthy cells. Now, this says beyond 24 hours. I've read articles where it says at the 16-hour mark, you've hit it. So that I'd have to fact check a little bit further. Increased growth hormone. Fasting can increase levels of human growth hormone, HGH, a crucial protein involved in growth, metabolism, weight management, and muscle strength. So you know how I feel about fasting. I will swear by it. I love it personally. It's done wonders for me. It's done wonders for my health, in my opinion. I do think that intermittent fasting in combination with a lot of the other things that I do is why I am in such great health. I had a doctor recently, we were doing a overall exam, and at the end of it, she just says, so you're basically healthy as a horse. And I was like, basically, that's it. It's a beautiful thing because I know so many people that are unwell and have these chronic ailments, and to be able to be blessed with good health is actually a blessing. Intermittent fasting, this is where I am right now. the influence of meal frequency. So I started to go down this rabbit hole and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I found this journal article, National Library of Medicine, that discusses the influence of meal frequency and timing on health and disease. I'm going to read you one caption. I'm going to break it down for you. While epidemiological evidence indicates an association between higher meal frequencies and lower disease risk, experimental trials have shown conflicting results. Fair. Furthermore, recent prospective research has demonstrated a significant increase in disease risk with a high meal frequency as compared to a low meal frequency. Apart from meal frequency and timing, we also have to consider breakfast consumption and the distribution of daily energy intake, caloric restriction, and nighttime eating. A central role in this complex scenario is played by the fasting period length between two meals. So this is the abstract in this study. So this study is and I found it on National Library of Medicine. You can literally, you Google, like, are we meant to be eating 3 meals a day? You're going to find a lot of stuff. This one in particular does discuss the fact that high meal frequency is increased disease risk. So if there's research, now let's take a step back too and peel the onion back a little bit further. You are not going to find a resounding amount of medical research that discusses this. And the reason for this is because if the entire United States gets the message, you should not eat 3 meals a day because it is increasing your disease risk, you need to scale back, it's going to increase your health. That is not good business practice for us here, right? So we're not recommending that as a quote unquote society, but I'm telling you, this is what the research is saying. Now, you're not going to find loads of research articles on this at this time because no one's going to pay for this. Why would they pay for it? Because then it's going to go against, so a pharmaceutical company is not going to back research that's going to prove this because they're in the business of disease. It's going to conflict. So I'm putting all of that there because I want you to have the full picture of really what this is. We should never be taking anything at face value, ladies. We should always be questioning everything, and we really need to fact check and do our own research. Do not just take anything at face value. So here's the article, right? So it says that increased meal frequency does increase your disease risk. Period. It is real. It actually does happen. Now, I went further and I was trying to find more information. Let's see here. Over the years, there have been studies that show benefits to eating more frequent meals, right? Questionable, as well as studies that show the downsides of it. Again, you're going to have that 50-50, but it's the same thing with eating meat, right? I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. Processed foods, all processed foods. Meat falls into the category of processed foods. Why? Because the animals are given injections, they're given chemicals, they're given medicine to boost up how much they grow. And then you're eating all of these hormones and you're eating everything that's in there. That's going to affect your health. Everyone's questioning, why is there so much cancer today? Why is cancer so rampant? Why is disease so rampant? What do we do? Let's give each other more medicine. No, actually the answer is right here in front of our faces, but we're not looking at it because, again, we're taking everything at face value. Let me see here. So let's see. The 3 meals a day recommendation didn't come out of nowhere. In one sense, it all comes down to math. This I found very interesting. It says here, quote unquote, the average adult human requires 2,000 calories per day, and you're only awake for so many hours, et cetera, et cetera. The article's about something a little bit different, right? So this is focused on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Now, I will say this. I don't eat 2,000 calories a day, at all, ever. I do not eat 2,000 calories a day. It's quite a bit. Well, why is 2,000 calories a day recommended? Hold on, let me break this down for you. So you're thinking to yourself, well, the guidelines say 2,000 calories a day, so I must at least get close to this if I'm going to be healthy, right? Wrong. Why is 2,000 calories used as a standard? The FDA needed a reference number to standardize nutrition labels and include the percent daily value. The 2,000 calorie amount was a simple mathematical figure to use for these calculations. Okay, so we have ding, 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 answer 1. Well, it's a simple figure, but where did they get this simple figure, right? The number was based on public surveys where people reported their daily calorie intake. Men reported eating an average of 2,000 to 3,000, and women reported 1,600 to 2,200. So we settled on 2,000 as middle ground. Well, hold on a second, people. Let's take this back another layer. A simple survey of what everybody's eating is what is informing a 2,000 calorie a day diet. So it's not based on We've done research that has informed us that you need to eat 2,000 calories a day to survive and be a well-being human being and have wellness and be all that you can be. That's not what that is. It was a simple survey sent out to many people, and it came back with this result. And so they settled on a number, and everybody ate it up with a spoon in their 2,000 calorie a day diets and said, well, I need to have 3 meals a day because I need to hit that number in order to be healthy and achieve X, Y, and Z. Or alternatively, well, it's 2,000 calories a day, so if I'm eating 1,700, it's fine. Or if I'm eating 1,500, it's fine. Yeah, sure, it's fine. But are you meant to be eating that much? The answer is no, you're not. There is quite a bit in the background of this that is rooted in marketing, and it's rooted in selling us something. It's rooted in marketing food on food on food on us. Why is it rooted in that? Because that's business. I don't want to go conspiracy theory on you, but really, really think about this. Think through everything we're being fed. These big grand rules that we've been told. Now, this has been like a topic of a debate at my house because I don't eat until 12 o'clock every single day. I always wait until 12. Sometimes I wait until 2 or 3. I will go as long as I can. Some days I do really well with it. I can hold out until 2 or 3 o'clock. Some days at 12 o'clock, I'm already chewing my arm off. But in any case, I'm always fasting for about 16 hours, roughly 14 to 16 hours. I'm always fasting for 14 to 16 hours plus some. I will always try to go more than that because the health benefits are so real and they're so not promoted. Intermittent fasting is promoted as you're going to lose weight. But when you dig deeper into that, there are a lot of health benefits that are behind the scenes that you have no idea about. And the most interesting thing when you do start fasting is you start to realize it's the first thing you put in your mouth, food-wise, is critical because it actually tells you a lot about what it's doing inside your body. Now, I've said to other folks, like, if I am like hangry, I'm going crazy, right? And I hit my fasting mark and I'm like, I'm going to eat now. If I eat carbs, if I eat something starchy, 1, it hurts my stomach. And 2, I am immediately lethargic. Immediately. I immediately am tired and I start to get really droopy and I have to drink my little tea, my caffeine tea, and try to get myself back up and shake it off. If I eat something that is high in protein, I have like loads of protein yogurt in my fridge. If I eat something light, if I eat eggs, if I eat something that is good protein and, lighter and not carb heavy, my body responds well. I do want to point something out. I did just note that I eat eggs. Yes, I am a vegetarian who eats eggs. I was struggling with my iron intake. And so every once in a while, I will incorporate eggs to help boost me a little bit. But I also go really heavy on kale, beets. I really try very hard. Every once in a while, I do eat eggs because of the iron situation. I'm very interested in hearing from some of you on this. And I would really encourage all of you to look into this whole marketing thing we're being fed that we have to eat 3 meals a day. You can only eat certain foods at certain times. It is actually very ridiculous. You can eat whatever. You want to eat beans for breakfast because you are a vegetarian, you're trying to get your protein and you need legumes, eat beans for breakfast. Like, it can be anything you need it to be to suit your lifestyle, but to also suit your health. But I encourage you to really look into this. I encourage you to dig deeper. And I'm going to really push for all of you to really start peeling the layers back and the things that we're being told and things we're being fed, quite literally being fed. There is more to the story than what we have been accepting at this point, and we actually need to start becoming more aware. I hope you found this informative. I'm very appreciative of you. I'm grateful that you're listening with me, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.